ravenous protagonist running with the scavengers.
Welcome to the Every Waking Moment podcast. I'm going to do something a little different this week. This is the Prince episode. The artist known as Prince, formerly known as Prince, was Prince, is Prince, will always be Prince. Big part of my childhood, big part of growing up, being a Prince fan. It's something that, if you know me, you know that's part of my life. And was a big Prince fan. Started at about 1983. But first this is in Prince's death 10 years ago, on April 21st. I remember a couple days before, he'd had a scare coming back from a concert, had to use some Narcan. So he he had double hip surgery. You can't do all those jazz splits for all those years and not do damage to your hips. So eventually he needed hip surgery, double hip surgery, and he ended up being addicted to the painkillers, which is very easy to do. I have a story about my dance with that devil that we'll get into some other time. But he took what he thought was oxy, ended up being fentanyl, and he died in an elevator at Paisley Park, which is quite ironic. If I read from Let's Go Crazy, which was the first heard Prince back in 83, 1999 album. You heard A Little Red Corvette in 1999, and those songs were different. So I kind of, who's this guy? And then I kind of forgot about him. And then in 84, Let's Go Crazy came out with Purple Rain. So, dearly beloved, we gathered here today to get this thing called life. Electric word life that means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else, the afterworld. A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun, day or night. So when you call up that shrink on Beverly Hills, you know the one. Doctor, everything will be all right. Instead of him asking how much of your time is left, ask him how much of your mind is left, baby. Because in this life, things are much harder than the afterworld. This life, you're on your own. And if the elevator tries to break you down, go crazy and punch a higher floor. So that is ironic because at 10:07 Central Time on April 21st, 2016, Prince was discovered unresponsive in the elevator at Paisley Park. He was found 9:43 a.m. First responders were called. They tried to bring him. He was already kind of dead, and they're trying to CPR and all that stuff, and it didn't work. And 57 years old, a year older than I will be this year, died of a fentanyl overdose. Now, growing up a Prince fan as a male was kind of hard in the 80s. Not hard, but you kind of had to hide it from people because, the dudes are like, oh, he's gay. He wears makeup and high heels. He's one of them gays. But, the same people that listen to Motley Crue who wore makeup and lipstick, and Poison, who also did that. So it was just, I told my girls when they were younger, they started listening to music when they were like 12, 13 years old. I said, someday you're going to find music means a lot to you. Maybe right now you're just, dancing to Justin Bieber, baby, baby, baby. But there's going to come a time in your life when music is going to mean a lot to you. And it did, and they like, who they like. But I think that was around the time when I was 13 that music started meaning something to me. It wasn't just, songs that, were catchy. So when I started listening to Prince and got the Purple Rain album and the lyrics, and, he swore like a sailor, and so did I. He liked the ladies, and so I just kind of, I want to say he was kind of a role model to me. And the way that he didn't do drugs at the time, or drink, or talk about that sort of thing, how he did, it wasn't part of his in his wheelhouse at the time. You know, I kind of did the same thing. I never was much of a drinker. I never did drugs. I've never smoked the sticky icky. The only drugs I took were my asthma medicine. So kind of a role model, kind of led my life, kind of what I thought was the Prince persona. And that was starting in 1983, 84. I was just a gigantic fan, and just been a fan ever since, and just went through the ups and downs. And you know, after maybe Raspberry Beret and the next album, Kiss, this kind of fell off as far as popularity, hit top hits and stuff. But he was making money. He was making music for himself, and it still spoke to me. And many of his fans who I've spoken to since. So I stayed with him all those years through when he changed his name to the Symbol to get out of his Warner Brothers contract, and had the battle with Warner Brothers, and eventually won his catalog of music back. So that was kind of the Prince story for me. Growing up a Prince fan, and I think I was Prince for Halloween in 1984. The last Halloween I spent in New Massachusetts. I put together a Prince outfit, and one of the neighbors like, "Who are you, Guido Sarducci?" And I don't know if you know who Guido Sarducci is, but it was a very. My mom had a trench coat that if you turned it inside out, it was purple. Had a purple lining, you know, striped but purple. And she also had a wig. You know, all the 70s ladies had wigs for some reason. So she had a wig that I made it wet so it kind of looked like Prince's hair. And I took her eyeliner and I made myself a fake mustache. And that's about I think she had a white shirt I used too. So, but I don't think I looked anything like Prince, and neither did anybody who saw me that night. I had no clue who I was trying to be. So that's what Prince meant to me. And it was, like I said, it was around the time we were going to sell our house in Massachusetts and moved to New Hampshire or northern Massachusetts, wherever. My father found a job up here, and we were trying to sell our house. Took us a long time to sell the house. So my dad moved to New Hampshire with his brother and family and lived there Sunday through Friday. So at the time, I only saw my dad on the weekends. You know, my mom and dad weren't separated or anything. He was just working that job and trying to sell our house so we could move up to New Hampshire. So my dad, my other male role model, passed away also in 2016. So I lost both of my male role models in 2016. Pretty shitty year, to be honest with you, and hasn't really got much better since then anyway. But that's how that went down. 2016, it was rough. And when I heard that he died, I was shocked because when TMZ reported it, I knew it wasn't fake, or I knew it was real because of what happened a few days ago before that. And it hit me, and I did shed a tear. And it wasn't because I love this man. I met this man. It was kind of saying goodbye to like my childhood. Like Westport Rob was dead at that point. But if there was anything left to Westport Rob, he died along with Prince on that day. And he or me, I grieved, and people actually reached out to me and said, "I'm so sorry," because they know how I felt about Prince and what he meant to me, and how I want to say how I had aspired to be like him in some ways. I never learned any instruments. I don't know how to read music. I wrote a lot of stuff, poems and stuff when I was in my teens, but not the same. So 10 years ago, he passed away. And the only thing good about that is since then, a lot of his stuff has been released YouTube-wise, and music stuff that he had hidden, not necessarily stuff from the vault, but stuff that he recorded and you couldn't really hear it because he was very, very a stickler about his music being played without his permission. So if anybody posted a concert of him on YouTube or something, it would be taken down pretty quickly. But now since then, everything is out, and I got to hear a lot of stuff that I had never heard before, or stuff that I had forgotten about. And it kind of fell back in love with the music and the person that who I thought was ended up being a very flawed person, just like the rest of us. So that's my Prince story. I'm going to bring Sherry in soon, and she's going to talk about how she was a big Prince fan. But like I said, in the 80s, if you said that you were a Prince fan, for some reason, they made fun of you and made fun of him. So when she asked me I think I asked her who her favorite music was, I don't remember who she said, but she remembers that she said she specifically did not say Prince because she thought I would be like every other dude and think, oh, I don't like him with the eyeliner and the high heels. What's wrong with that boy? So we'll talk about that when I get Sherry here. This is the Every Waking Moment podcast. Doing a little different one for this episode 3. This is the Prince episode. Well, all right, welcome back. We have Sherry here now to talk about the Prince 10 years ago today or tomorrow, whatever, 21st passed away. So when we were dating, one of the natural things is to get to know them.
It was like
I think we were. Was it?
No, I think it was just like a first phone call.
Was it?
Like a
Okay, could have been. I mean, I don't.
Thing.
I just know that I asked you about your favorite bands or music.
You did.
And you didn't say Prince right away. I don't know who you said. Do you remember who you said?
Yeah, I had 3. I said 3 or 4. And then
Def Leppard was
I
one of
wanted
them.
to say Prince every time, but
I think Def Leppard was one of them. Might have been.
No, I think Whitesnake.
We both like
one of them.
Yeah. We both like Def Leppard. I didn't like Whitesnake. I don't know why. I don't know.
Janet? I might have said Janet.
Yeah, you probably did. Because I don't think Paula Abdul was around yet.
Yeah, I think it was more like Janet back then.
Yeah, so I asked you, and you didn't say Prince, and why did you not say Prince?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be listening to Prince. I only listened to Prince when I was at my cousin's house. I won't say her name, but she had a rec room of records. Mm-hmm. And she always introduced me to the new stuff. The stuff that wasn't really in my house. So it was
scandalous.
Yeah.
Very scandalous.
So we took dance lessons, and that's who we usually tried to choreograph to. Well, she choreographed, and I just followed whatever she did because she was like the best dancer. Yeah. And Prince wasn't allowed in my house.
No, I can imagine.
You know what? I didn't ever hear that my parents say that.
You just assumed probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing Prince in the house, you know that there are songs you can't play if you think your parents are going to say something to you.
Yeah, they're like an Osmond family.
Yeah, my parents already checked out, so they didn't give 2 shits about what I was listening to. So I get to listen to whatever I wanted to. And so, I talked a little bit about the stigma of Prince back then. Boys weren't really supposed to like Prince. They're supposed to like Motley Crue, Van Halen, Whitesnake. But if you're a boy and you said you like Prince, I got that flack all the time about where he wears makeup and high heels. He's gay. How you like the gay guy? So it was kind of a stigma not to be a boy, to be a dude and like Prince. Did you notice that? Were you surprised that I was a Prince fan?
I didn't talk to people much about music, but I never got that sense from him.
But did you think that it was weird for me to be a Prince fan?
I didn't think it was weird because I wanted to say it, so I was happy that you would listen to it in the car. Maybe you had a cassette. Because I only had the one place to go to listen.
Yes, that's true.
Or I could wait for it to play in the top 20, maybe, Casey Kasem, and
Yeah.
maybe I'd get a little bit of it bleeped out,
Yeah, they weren't
like on a
playing Darling Nikki
Saturday
on
fun
the.
day when they did the
No,
countdown.
they weren't playing Darling Nikki on B106 Nashua. No, they weren't. That wasn't going to happen.
We didn't choreograph to that one, no.
Yeah, so music was pretty pop. When I talked a little bit about, because when I talked to the girls when they were younger, like Miranda liked that Butterfly song by the, I don't remember the name of the group. Butterflies. It came out like, I don't know, 2012-ish. And she liked that song. And I'm like, oh, you really like that song? I'm like, you know what? Someday music is going to mean a lot to you.
Okay,
The
so I'm
lyrics.
thinking it's Fireflies.
Oh, and what did I say?
Butterflies.
Yeah, you're right. It's
Same.
Fireflies.
Same.
Yeah. That's the song. So I told the girls, I said, when you get to a certain age, music is going to mean a lot to you, which wasn't a hot take. I mean, you just turn a certain age and you start listening to, it's not just about the song sounds cool and you're dancing. Like when I was little, like 10 or 11, Centerfold came out from the Jake Isles band, and you're like, Angel is a Centerfold. We don't know what the fuck that meant. But once you get a little older and you start listening to music a different way, and you start to appreciate the lyrics, and they mean a certain thing to you, that comes at a, when you're about 13, 14, 15 years old. When do you think that happened for you, as far as that goes? Because I think Prince, I mean, you weren't really a big Madonna girl,
No.
but she wasn't very deep. Like Prince talked a lot about sex, but he still had very deep lyrics. When do you think that was?
To who I could use for the halftime routine, or something my parents didn't let me listen to.
Oh yeah.
But it was also like, for you, it wasn't just the music, but the way you wrote in your notes. You wrote different because you were using letters. It was like a Prince code to me in our notes.
To you, it was a Prince code, and I'm glad you thought that. But to me, it was my terrible penmanship. I capital letters, cursive to print to back to capital letters. Yeah, and it wasn't on purpose. It was just terrible penmanship.
No, it was stuff like "I would die for you."
Oh yeah.
Die,
I tried to
the
assimilate
number 4
that.
and then you, but it wasn't like that. The trends like BFF forever. It wasn't like that. It was more like symbols you used and numbers.
Yeah,
and I think that was Prince.
Right, and that was definitely a Prince thing, and I definitely assimilated to pretty much everything he did. And I was kind of counterculture. I didn't like things that were popular. I just found it annoying. If I just didn't, I was just kind of counterculturish when it came to those sorts of things, like forget together forever, like you said in the notes. We used to write, because texting in the 80s was writing notes.
Yep.
And folding them up into a certain way, like a football. You could a triangle, or you fold them up into this square that you pull out, and I don't remember how that was.
That would be fun to try one day, because I don't know if I remember.
I could do the football one. The triangle one I could do. The other one, no way. No, it's no way I'd have to do that. I'd have to take a YouTube tutorial on that, which is always fun. So, going back to Prince and his 10 years ago, how did you, when you found out he died, and it was a TMZ report first, before you came home, I think we were probably at work.
No.
When did you think it was true immediately, or did you think it was one of those things?
I was at my first Red Sox game ever. I went with a field trip, and it was announced. They were in the middle of maybe 4th, 5th innings.
Really?
Mid-game. And all of a sudden, you saw a picture of his, I think, Prince and the Revolution was on the cover. And I was like, why are they showing Prince at the Red Sox?
Like on the scoreboard?
Yes. No, not the scoreboard. It was like the cameras, they zoom in on the fans. And I saw it. And then I was starting to get people's attention. I'm like, why is he up there right now? They're not playing his songs.
That's
and
crazy.
Then the song played.
I didn't know that.
There was crazy. No. What song did they play? It might have been Let's Go Crazy. Yeah. And I said, okay, that's a baseball song.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I think I saw R.I.P. or something.
That's nuts.
And the
I didn't know that.
whole audience went silent near me.
Yeah.
No one thought it was real at first. We thought it was part of the inning.
Some of the sporting venues in the days after, would do that. And as a matter of fact, the Sachem Bridge in Boston was all purple for like a week. So it was. When I found out, I knew it was true because a couple days before he had to be revived with Narcan. So he was an addict. I think that I'm not. I didn't really read the police report. I didn't really need to. I didn't get that deep into it. I'm pretty sure that he thought he was popping oxy, and he actually accidentally popped fentanyl. I don't know if it was laced with fentanyl, or he had fentanyl, and just took the wrong pill, the wrong amount of some in a pill, and he died in the elevator, which was crazy because of that song, which I said before you joined the fray here. Never let the elevator break you down, and then he dies in an elevator, which is nuts.
He was just in so much pain.
Yeah, because like I said, he had the double hip. He had the double hip surgery, and like I said, you can't do that many jazz splits for all those years and not have hip pain. You know, that's a lot of jazz splits. That has to be. That's a wear on your. As someone who is a cheerleader,
I've never seen you in a jazz split there.
I can't.
Robert.
I don't do jazz. I've probably done one. Hurt myself.
That was before my time.
No, I'm not sure. It was. You know what? I did one, and I hit it, but I paid for it. Me and my cousin Ken were making some video in my Uncle Joe's basement because he had like a total studio set up. We had the video camera going, and I did one, and I popped right up, and I think I paid for it for the next week. But that was about 200 pounds ago, so yeah, that's not happening. So he is 57 years old, pretty young. Now that we're in our mid 50s, or you're not quite in the mid 50s, I guess. But now that I'm in the mid 50s and staring at 56 next month, the month after, 57 doesn't seem that old. And
I just remember being stunned, and I couldn't believe the game kept playing. I couldn't believe they were throwing the next pitch.
yeah,
So I thought, why aren't we all standing here? How did this happen? And then I thought right away,
yeah,
Rob won't get to see him again. Because
Yeah.
I knew you wanted to get to another show.
absolutely. And I remember when John Lennon got shot, it was during a football game. It certainly didn't stop that game, so I wouldn't have expected them to stop like that. But I remember it being as wow a thing when John Lennon got shot, and it was kind of the same reaction all over the world. And how do you think it affected me? It affected me because it wasn't just, oh, Prince died, I'm not going to see him again. He was more than just an artist. He was kind of a male role model in my life, as I said before. And my father, the other male role model in my life, also died in 2016. So that was a sweet year.
The year of grief. That was
so it affected me. I did feel there were times I shed tears. I don't know if you noticed. And it wasn't just because, like I said, it wasn't just because he was Prince, and I loved his music, and I felt an attachment to him. But it was kind of like the last nail in the coffin. Westport Rob was dead.
There was that, but I think you
Westport
was
Robbie.
Also the death of original music.
Yeah, I mean,
like, would there
who knows?
be anything that could even touch it?
I mean, I don't know how much of that went through my head at the time. Most of the time when I grieve, it's more selfish. So I don't know if I was thinking of, oh, there'll be no more good music for the world. There's probably no more good music for me.
It was like your purple nostalgia.
You got to get closer.
Purple nostalgia. I've got a few minutes left in me.
So how did you notice anything, any of the way it affected me at all?
Yeah, you were going through the stages of grief.
Was that obvious?
Yeah, now I had some fans, some artists I liked.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Petty died that year too. I mean, we weren't gigantic Tom Petty fans, but we're like, Jesus Christ, everybody's dropping dead.
Yeah, but it was like he was part of your family.
He definitely was. I mean, my cousin introduced me to him, and we bonded a lot over that sort of thing.
I think it's still in you because I The nights I hear you doing a Prince marathon, it's just playing in the house.
Oh yeah, I play it all the time. I found a couple of
I
YouTube
hear it in your
channels where they
car, I
just
think you're still
play
leaving it.
Prince music, and I listen to it in the car, and I listen to it when I shower. I have a Spotify list I play. I mean, it's never going to end. I'm never going to not listen to them. I mean, I don't understand how people can change from music genre to genre to genre to.
Yeah, it's
So
26 now, and this year more than any year, I've heard more about his halftime routine, the Super Bowl.
yeah,
I just saw so much of that this year.
yeah,
Even the
because
young kids are realizing it.
the Super Bowl got so political that it ended up in everybody's algorithms. So yeah, I mean, hands down the best Super Bowl halftime show ever.
Right.
I mean, you can't even touch it. And most people, anybody that knows anything about music would agree, even if they're not the biggest Prince fans. I mean, and then when he did the "My Guitar Gently Weeps" guitar solo at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for George Harrison, when George Harrison's son Tom Petty and a bunch of guys from all these bands were playing, and then he came in and did the guitar solo. That's all over the internet too as one of the best guitar solos ever. And the story behind that is, I don't know if you know this or not. A little while before that, Rolling Stone magazine came out with the top 100 best guitar players of all time.
Yes,
They left him
I
off the
was on a
list.
podcast about that, and I kept saying, "Why isn't anyone saying Prince?" My cousin posted something, Facebook, and he was asking who favorite guitarist was, and no one said Prince. So I added Prince.
Yeah.
I think he agreed with me, but then someone mentioned that Rolling Stone article. I'm like, why wasn't he in there?
It's obviously, if it was a intention, like Rolling Stone insists upon themselves. They like the smell of their own farts. They think that they are the most important voice of music ever. Maybe in the 70s and 60s when P.G. O'Rourke was the editor. But they're kind of a clown show now, and they're kind of irrelevant, like most magazines are. So leaving him off on purpose is unacceptable. If they made an omission and forgot, that's unacceptable. But either way, it fueled him, and that's what he did. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have. It's on. I can put a link in the comments to that, because a couple of years ago they came out with the director's cut of that, where it has more camera angles. So that's pretty amazing. You know how Tom Petty's interacting with him. George Harrison's son is interacting with him as he's jamming on the guitar. So it didn't get a lot of credit up until then as a guitar player. They just thought he was a singer and a dancer and just an entertainer. And
Yeah,
that's
how many
where,
instruments did he play? And he was self-taught.
well, they say 20 something, and he said, well, the synthesizer plays 30 instruments, so if you count that, then I guess I do play 30 something instruments. But he could play piano, both bass guitar, regular guitar. He played drums. He didn't play any brass, didn't play any violin or anything like that. But before Prince came out, like in '83 is when I heard 1999 and Little Red Corvette, and it was so different. And I was like, wow, this is cool. But I was a huge Michael Jackson fan because Thriller came out in '83. Watching the Grammys and Michael Jackson just winning Grammy after Grammy after Grammy after Grammy. And then the next year, Prince comes out with Purple Rain, and it was so different. And then as the years progressed and Prince went on a trajectory and Michael Jackson stayed on a trajectory, I almost got insulted when people would compare them, because I'm like, how can you compare these two? Michael Jackson's great. He doesn't play any instruments, okay? He doesn't write a lot of his songs. I'm sure I just was like almost insulted by that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, there's that too, and Michael Jackson with fashion too. He was like
Right.
a legend.
Yeah.
But look at Prince.
If you think
Look
dancing,
at his style.
you would think Michael Jackson, but Prince was a kind of a freestyler when it came to dance. Michael Jackson created, was a trailblazer in dancing, but also copied. Like he did a lot of breakdancing moves, things that he didn't invent. Prince was more of a freelance, kind of make your own shit up as you go along kind of guy.
He was feeling it. I think he was overlooked a lot.
So
I don't watch the short award shows like you. all the time, though.
Well, he did win something in Michael Jackson never got was an Prince won an Oscar for the original score for Purple Rain. So Michael Jackson will never have that. So Prince won American Music Award, Grammy, and an Oscar same year. So
Before I go, what about, did you mention one of your daughters got to listen?
what
Well,
the
that was
show that
another
I
thing
went to
thought of, like, oh, Rob will never get to show his girls
Prince.
at
Yeah.
a concert.
So this is what
But
kind of made me.
someone did.
I was going to do this. I was going to do my preface to this before I brought Sherry in, like last week. But then I was going to this show because Avery goes to Berklee College with music, and there's a couple of kids that I guess it might be the senior project, but for a year and a half they were putting together this Prince ensemble and do a show with all Prince songs. And I went to it with Avery this past Thursday, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Unreal. They played for an hour and a half, nonstop. They had about I'd say 7 or 8 different singers. And after one song, another one would come up from behind the curtain. And then another one would come up from behind the curtain. And they had dancers from the conservatory because they're connected to Berklee. They had choreographers that had dancers. They had the wardrobes. They had a party man outfit from Batman. They had the black and white outfit from Kiss. They had the Raspberry Beret outfit, the Clouds. They were amazing. Every single part of that production was amazing, and I'm glad I waited till after that because it kind of gave me momentum into talking to this and appreciating it even more now. So that was awesome. Thank you, Avery, for going to bed. We don't ever known that it existed. Thank you for going to Berklee. So we knew that this thing existed, and I got to watch it, and it was awesome. And now one of the kids, the drummer, who was responsible for making it, now we're BFFs on Twitter. I mean, on Instagram.
Oh, I'm out.
I Instagrammed him just so I could tell him. I insta messaged him. That's what it's called. Just so I could tell him how impressed I was.
You interview him on this podcast.
No,
But-
this is the only time we're going to break from the norm.
All right, but was it Avery? I was very pregnant. Was it 8 months
Yeah.
pregnant? Was it Avery?
Yeah, we saw Musicology, the
Concert.
Musicology tour. We saw it, I think it was September.
My first Prince
You were
concert was
very-
maybe your third?
My third. You were very pregnant with Avery.
Yeah.
So we were at the Boston, I don't know what it was called back then, the Fleet Center, Bank Boston Center.
And we were up on like this high-rise seat.
Yeah, we were in the upper
Not good to be
balcony,
8 months pregnant
pretty
up there.
far away.
Yeah.
But, his concerts, he's more of a center stage guy. So,
Yeah.
and of course, he made us wait an hour and a half, like he does all the time.
Now Avery,
And Avery was in your belly.
and she was my drummer girl, and she was always awake. And
Yeah.
I felt her that whole concert. It was so loud. I know how great it was for her.
Yeah, see, she was in there,
But she was
Moving
playing the
around.
drums. She
moving around,
was.
dancing.
She was.
Yeah, she was just. So I always tell her that. Like I told her that again when we were at the concert. I'm like, you got to go to a Prince concert. You may not have had a Social Security number yet, but you went to the concert. You were there, and you were feeling it. There's no way you could not feel it if you went to a
No,
concert.
I couldn't believe it. I could not take my eyes off the stage like you were going to miss anything.
Yeah.
It was nothing like any concert. It's just like
And we've
each
been to a lot of
song
concerts for our
flowed
age.
into the next song, and he kept picking up different instruments, and he only put them down to dance.
Yep. I mean, we've been to a lot of concerts, and they're all kind of the same. But that's when you go to a Prince concert. If you've ever been to one, you know what we're talking about. If you know, you know. What do they say? IYKYKY. Is that what it's called? If you know, you know. It's an event. It's an experience that unfortunately it's never going to happen again. So I'm going to close this out. Rest in peace, Prince. The world misses you. I miss you. Do you miss him?
Every day I think about him when I turn on the radio.
Yeah. Whenever you turn on the radio and you listen to crappy music of today, like, gee, I wish Prince was around to
Yeah.
something.
I will say there's a few that were inspired by him.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's
would
good to
say Bruno Mars
Yeah.
is the closest to it,
Yeah, we like Bruno.
his own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I turn on the radio, you hope that there's something, but nothing compares
No.
to you.
Yeah. And when I was talking to Avery at the concert, when I was after the concert, I was like, it wasn't just, I was almost teary-eyed because I was like, it's not just that I'm listening to Prince songs again and they're doing a great job. It's just like, I didn't know. I thought the Prince experience and the songs were going to fade away like anything else. But it was good to see two 20-year-olds go so deep into the Prince catalog, and they just nailed it, you know? And it's like good to see that generation. There's still some people that appreciate it, and maybe it'll live on longer, which would be great. And I think I agree with you. Nothing compares to Prince. So that is the Prince episode. Thanks for hanging in with us. We'll be back next Sunday.
Let's make sure
We'll
that
be
by the
funnier.
next podcast, you someday want a Prince room. And you had your Prince room when I met you.
I did.
It was a Prince room.
Yeah, that's...
His posters all over. Well, it's girls.
I like the ladies.
I had to walk into like Apollonia.
Yeah, I mean...
Right? I mean, Vanity 6, was it?
Did I have Vanity up? I probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheila E.,
Ooh,
Apollonia, Vanity. I guess that might have...
Yeah, but that can't happen here in our family home.
I don't think I'm going to get posters of chicks anymore. Kind of past that.
We're not going to have a Prince room, but...
No, I don't think so. Unless they win the lottery.
Like with purple walls.
Unless they win the lottery and get a bigger house.
Yeah, you keep
I'd have a whole Prince. I would just build a Prince, like...
We can't have like a shrine.
No, because that's creepy.
House,
that's creepy.
But you can have an area.
Right. Oh, I got an area, baby. So, yeah, that's creepy. Because being Portuguese, I have been in houses where they have shrines, and it is fucking creepy. So, that's a whole different thing. So, we'll be back to our regular kind of topics next Sunday. So, thanks for being patient with us to do this Prince episode. I'm sorry that it's airing on a Monday instead of the Sunday. But by the time this gets uploaded, it will be 10 years since Prince has passed. So, thanks for listening. Don't forget, subscribe. You have to share it. You have to make comments. And you have to... what else are the other things? Subscribe. Oh, like. You have to like, too. So, we'll be back next week. That is the Every Waking Moment podcast. Thanks for listening.
I'm a ravenous protagonist, running with the scavengers. None of y'all would be ready for dramatic savageness. I took a break so I could absorb the world around me, and in my absence, the king is what the people crown me.